There comes a time in every person's life when comfort begins to rot the spirit. This is not something that happens suddenly. It's gradual, like the slow cooling of a once burning flame. The human being, by default, seeks comfort. It is wired to avoid pain, to preserve energy, to remain in familiar environments. And yet, this very tendency is what becomes the greatest enemy of growth. When we do not voluntarily step into discomfort, discomfort finds a way to step into our lives. And when it does, it comes dressed in the robes of an emergency. What is an emergency? In the external world, we define it as a moment that demands immediate attention, something urgent, something serious. But in the spiritual world, in the internal landscape of your mind and soul, an emergency is a sacred alarm clock. It is life's way of telling you that something essential is being neglected, something deep within you has been forgotten, and if you continue to sleep through it, the cost will not only be felt by you, but by everyone your life touches. From the 16th to the 21st of July, many people will sense tension rising. They may not be able to explain it, but internally there will be a stirring. Some will call it anxiety, others will call it stress, but the wise will call it what it truly is, a signal, a call to return to the truth. These emotions are not enemies, they are mirrors. They are reflections of the very parts of yourself that you have allowed to weaken, to fade, to wither away in silence. Life is not trying to harm you. Life is trying to awaken you. You must understand that emergency is not the opposite of peace. It is often the doorway to peace, but only for those who are willing to walk through it with awareness. Many people respond to emergency by panicking, by pointing fingers, by running away, by distracting themselves. But those who are trained mentally, emotionally, spiritually, they recognize the gift hidden within the chaos. They ask the question that most avoid. What is this showing me about myself? If during these days you feel pressure, it is not without purpose. Perhaps you have postponed decisions you knew had to be made. Perhaps you've been living on autopilot, avoiding reflection, feeding habits that dull your consciousness. Perhaps you've said yes to too many things that feel like no. Whatever the case may be, this is not the time for blame. This is the time for seeing. Imagine standing before a mirror after many years. You may not like what you see. You may wish it was different. But the mirror does not lie. It simply shows. The emergency you feel between 16 and 21 July is that mirror. It reflects your inner reality, your routines, your thoughts, your attitude, your beliefs, your level of discipline. It shows you clearly the gap between who you are and who you are capable of becoming. You must not fear this moment. You must welcome it. You must look into the mirror of discomfort and say, show me what I've avoided. Because avoidance is the soil in which suffering grows. When you avoid the small corrections, life eventually forces big ones. The body that's neglected will one day collapse. The mind that's overstimulated will one day shut down. The relationships taken for granted will one day walk away. These moments will feel like emergencies. But in truth, they were whispers long before they became shouts. The signals were always there. You just refused to see them. With that, complacency is like rust. It forms slowly, almost invisibly. But over time, it weakens the strongest structures. It does not ask for permission. It thrives in silence. It grows in places you stop paying attention to. That is why you must remain vigilant. You must inspect your habits, your intentions, your inner life, not occasionally, but daily. When was the last time you truly evaluated your mindset, your discipline, your level of gratitude? If you have not done so recently, do not be surprised if life does it for you. This is the beauty hidden in life's emergencies. They strip away illusions. They remove the masks. They push you into confrontation with your own self. And this confrontation is not a punishment. It is an invitation to return to the path, to realign, to recommit, to rise. We often pray for strength, but we forget that strength only comes through resistance. The emergency you face is your resistance. It is the spiritual weightlifting of the soul, and just like physical muscles, your spiritual muscles will only grow if you embrace the challenge. You will feel tired, you will feel tempted to quit, but you must remember why this moment has come, not to break you, but to build you. When you look around and see others panicking, remember that you have a choice. You can be the calm in the storm. But that calmness does not come from pretending everything is fine. It comes from facing everything head on, with presence, with poise, with power. That is the energy that transforms emergencies into enlightenment. Ask yourself, what is life trying to show me right now? Where have I become too comfortable? Where have I stopped growing? Where have I allowed fear to decide for me? These questions are your compass. They will not give you answers immediately, but they will put you on the path. And once you are on the path, every step forward will bring clarity. There are people who will ignore this time. They will distract themselves with noise. They will numb themselves with entertainment. They will call these days stressful, unlucky, cursed. But they will miss the message. They will miss the opportunity. And when the next emergency comes, and it always does, they will once again fall. You must not be one of them. You must train your awareness. This does not mean becoming rigid. It means becoming awake, flexible, alert. Like the monk who walks through the battlefield without fear, not because he denies danger, but because he has trained his mind to be still in the fire. Your emergency is not your enemy. It is your mirror. And it is calling you to look deeper, beyond your routine, beyond your outer success, beyond your excuses. It is asking, who are you? Truly. Are you ready to become that person, or are you still hiding behind who you were? The choice is yours, but the window is not always open. Life offers correction, but only to those who respond. Between the 16th and 21st of July, do not waste the chance. Do not run. Sit with yourself. Reflect. Write. Walk in nature. Watch your breath. Watch your thoughts. Watch your reactions. They are the messengers. If you do this sincerely, something powerful will happen. A shift, a release, a breakthrough. You will begin to see how much of your suffering was self-created, how much of your anxiety was tied to things you never needed to control, how much of your pain was simply resistance to change. And in that realization, you will find peace, not because the emergency is over, but because you have stopped fearing it. Do not seek comfort, seek clarity. Do not chase motivation, build discipline. Do not wish the storm away, learn to move through it with grace. This is the path of mastery, the path of the awakened one. There is nothing wrong with you, you are not broken. You are simply being reminded. Life is reminding you of your strength, of your wisdom, of your responsibility, of your potential. And it will keep reminding you until you listen. So listen. Before the whisper becomes a shout, before the tension becomes a breakdown, before the discomfort becomes destruction, Let this emergency be the last one that needs to shake you. Let it be the one that wakes you for good. Let it be the beginning of your new path, not a path of fear, but a path of fierce presence. You were not born to be passive. You were not born to be distracted. You were born to awaken, to lead yourself, to master your mind, to live with intention every single day. And when you do, you will no longer fear the mirror. You will look into it and see not a problem, but a possibility. Not a mistake, but a message. Not an emergency, but an emergence of who you truly are. That is the power of seeing clearly. That is the gift of facing what most people avoid. And that is the meaning behind these sacred days. Change is not a question. It is not a matter of if. It is only a matter of when. Everything in this universe follows the law of impermanence. What rises must fall. What grows must transform. What lives must adapt. Change is the thread that binds together all moments in life. And yet, the majority of people are surprised when it comes. They resist it. They fear it. But the wise do not resist change. They prepare for it. They welcome it. And more importantly, they lead it. From the 16th to the 21st of July, change is not only inevitable, it is accelerated. There are times in life when transformation is slow and invisible. Then there are windows when the pace quickens, when your awareness sharpens, when you're no longer allowed to ignore what is shifting inside you and around you. These 5 days are such a window. And in this window, you must make a conscious choice. Will you be the one who shapes the change, or the one who is shaped by it? To lead change is not to control it. You cannot control the wind, but you can adjust your sails. You cannot stop the river, but you can learn to swim. Leading change means stepping into it consciously, with courage and intention, rather than being swept away by confusion or fear. This is what separates the awakened from the asleep, the disciplined from the distracted, the powerful from the passive. Look at your life. Look at where you are. In what areas have you become stagnant? In what patterns do you continue to repeat cycles that no longer serve you? Are you merely going through the motions, waking up, working, surviving, but not truly evolving? Change is knocking at your door, but if you're not listening, you will miss it. Worse, it will come in a form that shakes you violently because you refuse to hear the whisper before the storm. This is not meant to frighten you, it is meant to awaken you. Leading change begins with recognition. You cannot change what you do not first acknowledge. You cannot lead what you are unwilling to confront, and you cannot become who you are meant to be while still clinging to who you used to be. Most people are followers of change. They wait for the world to shift and then they react. The economy changes and then they panic. Their relationships change and then they grieve. Their body changes and then they regret not taking care of it sooner. Their opportunities disappear and then they blame. But the truth is, life gives signs. Life always gives signs. Those who live in mindfulness recognize these signs early. They adjust before the storm. They realign before the collapse. They are not caught off guard because their inner awareness is awake. When you train the mind to remain still, you begin to sense the subtle shifts. You feel when something is no longer right. You see when it's time to let go of an old story. You know when to rest and when to rise. And this knowing is what gives you the power to lead. Not others, but yourself. Leading others is temporary. Leading yourself is eternal. So the question is not, will change come? The question is, will you be ready when it does? Ask yourself right now, what in your life needs to change? Is it your health, Your mindset, the way you speak to yourself, the way you spend your time, the company you keep, the standards you allow? Don't answer casually. Sit until it burns. Sit until the excuses fade and only truth remains. Because if you do not choose your change will choose you. And when change chooses you without your readiness, it feels like chaos. Okay, this is what it should do. If you don't choose your change will choose you. And when change chooses you without your readiness, it feels like chaos. But when you choose it, it becomes transformation. Leading change also requires responsibility. Not blaming others, not waiting for better conditions, not hoping someone will rescue you, but realizing that the only one who must rise is you. It is easy to blame your parents, your past, your pain. It is harder to take ownership. But ownership is the path of power. The moment you say, "This is on me," is the moment you reclaim your ability to lead. Leadership is not about titles or positions. It is about energy. It is about how you show up when things get difficult. It is about whether you run or rise, whether you complain or commit, whether you give in or go forward. Between the 16th and 21st of July, the world may not notice your change, but you will, your soul will, and that internal shift is far more important than external applause. The greatest leaders are often invisible. They do not need validation. They do not need to announce their intentions. They simply act quietly, consistently, powerfully. Ask yourself again, in this coming change, will I lead or follow? If you find yourself afraid, remember this: fear is not a sign to stop. It is a sign that you are approaching something meaningful. Fear often stands between the person you are and the person you're meant to be. Do not run from it. Look at it, study it, learn from it, walk through it, because on the other side of that fear is your next level. And understand that leading change does not mean perfection. It does not mean you will never fall. It means you are willing to get up every single time. It means you do not wait for motivation, you create it. You do not hope for clarity, you build it through action. You do not need to feel ready, you begin, and readiness follows. There is no secret to leading change other than this: decide. Decide that your growth matters more than your comfort. Decide that your soul matters more than your ego. Decide that your purpose is bigger than your past, and then act in alignment with that decision. Every day, even when it's hard. If you do this, these 5 days, 16 to 21 July, will not just be another week. They will be a turning point, a sacred portal, a rebirth. There is a warrior inside you that has been silent. Not a warrior of violence, but of virtue, of clarity, of discipline, of stillness. It is time to awaken that warrior. Not later, not someday, now. Every morning, begin with presence. Before the world touches you, touch your own breath. Before distractions arrive, meet your own awareness. This is how you train. Not by doing more, but by being more. More alert, more conscious, more devoted to your path. As change comes, others will look to you, not for answers, but for example. Be that example. Lead without needing followers. Move without needing permission. Praise without needing permission. And as the days unfold, watch the signs. The universe speaks to the quiet mind. You will see synchronicities. You will feel deeper intuition. You will know when to step forward and when to stand still. And that knowing, that deep inner compass, is the mark of someone who no longer follows the noise, but leads from truth. When you lead change, you are no longer a victim of your circumstances. You become a creator, a conscious architect of your reality. You stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and begin asking, "What is this teaching me?" That is how masters are born, not in easy times, but in sacred windows like this. Do not waste it. Do not ignore the call. From the 16th to the 21st of July, lead yourself with discipline, with grace, with stillness, with power. Let the world see what it means to walk with awareness. Let your actions speak louder than your fears. Let your habits be your voice. Let your energy be your message. And let this change not be something that happens to you, but something that is born through you. Many people walk through life unaware that the greatest war they will ever fight is not against other people. It is not a battle of nations, of opinions, of competition or resources. The fiercest conflict is not found in the news, in politics, or even in daily challenges. The most relentless opponent you will ever face stares at you in the mirror each morning. It is your own self, not the part that is light, awakened, and wise, but the part that resists, that doubts, that fears, that hides. From the 16th to the 21st of July, the energy of conflict will rise, but if you are observant, you will recognize that the chaos is not coming from the outside, it is surfacing from within. Life is pulling back the veil, the emotional tension, the mental unrest, the sudden confusion. These are not coincidences, they are signals. These are the sounds of an internal war that has been quietly waging, and now you are being called to face it directly. The events of the next year and a half may well diffuse, and the ice is liquid because it is clean. There is more than one way out. Now you are being called to face it directly. This inner battle is ancient. It exists in every human being. It is the tension between your higher self and your lower patterns. It is the space between who you are and who you could be. One voice within you says, "You must rise, you are meant for more." Another says, "Why try? You always fail." One voice urges you to wake up early, move the body, sharpen the mind, and speak truth. Another voice whispers, "It's okay to delay, just one more hour, just one more excuse." These voices are not imaginary, they are forces, and every day one grows stronger depending on which you feed. You must understand, no one else can fight this battle for you. Not a teacher, not a friend, not even God. Because free will is the sword you were given, and your discipline is the shield. The battlefield is not physical, it is mental, emotional, and spiritual. When you feel resistance to doing what you know is right, that's the enemy. When your heart wants to speak up, but fear shuts it down, that's the enemy. When your mind creates distractions to avoid responsibility, that's the enemy. And like all battles, this one will test you. You will be tested with fatigue, with loneliness, with temptation. You will want to go back to comfort, to old habits, to familiar weaknesses. And the moment you retreat, the enemy grows. But when you stand your ground, when you move forward in spite of the fear, something begins to shift. You begin to change the battlefield. The war outside you begins to lose its power, because the war within you is being won. But how do you fight this internal battle? Not with anger, not with force. You fight it with awareness, with presence, with clarity. You must learn to observe yourself in real time. When a negative thought arises, don't become it. Witness it. When an old urge returns, don't indulge it, investigate it. Ask, what is this teaching me? Why does this come now? What part of me still believes this is who I am? Because the truth is, most of your inner conflict comes from old stories. Stories you didn't write. Stories planted in you by culture, by childhood, by trauma. And these stories run deep. You're not good enough. You don't deserve peace. You'll always be broken. These voices are not your truth. They are echoes. And until you become conscious of them, they will keep you trapped in battles that were never yours to begin with. This is why silence is necessary. Silence reveals what noise hides. Between 16 and 21 July, create moments of stillness. Turn off the phone, step away from the crowd, sit with your breath, feel what arises. Let the hidden battles come into the light, not to shame them, but to heal them. The parts of you that sabotage, procrastinate, self-destruct, they are not evil. They are wounded. They are afraid. They are versions of you that still carry pain. And to defeat them, you do not destroy them, you elevate them. You say, I see you, but I do not serve you anymore. I am not here to relive the past. I am here to become my highest self. There is no shortcut in this work. Inner mastery requires patience. There will be days when it feels like you are losing, when your mind is chaotic, your discipline weak, your emotions heavy. But even on those days, you are training. You are building something powerful. You are becoming a person who no longer needs outer circumstances to feel inner peace. That is rare. That is powerful. Do not expect the world to support your inner journey. Often it will challenge it. Your decision to grow will make others uncomfortable. Your silence will reveal their noise. Your clarity will expose their confusion. This is not your burden to carry. Lead your own life. Fight your own battle. And in doing so, you will inspire others to do the same. Between the 16th and 21st of July, observe your reactions. They are the front lines. When someone offends you, do you explode or reflect? When things go wrong, do you blame or take ownership? Every reaction is an opportunity. You either reinforce your old programming or you rewire it with new awareness. And this rewiring, though slow, is sacred. It is the quiet revolution of the soul. You may ask, but what if I fall? What if I lose control again? What if I return to my old ways? And the answer is simple. Then you rise again. The warrior is not the one who never falls. The warrior is the one who never stays down. You do not lose the battle by falling. You lose by refusing to rise. Every mistake is a lesson. Every relapse is a reminder. Every setback is an invitation. Not to punish yourself, but to recommit. You must stop expecting perfection. The goal is not to become flawless. The goal is to become aware, to live with intention, to meet each day as a new beginning. That is what it means to win the inner war. Not to silence all struggle, but to transform your relationship with it. There will be moments during these 5 days when your inner enemy will speak louder than usual. It will tell you to give up, to stay small, to settle. You must recognize that voice for what it is, a test. Do not engage it, do not argue. Simply return to your breath, to the present, to the truth. What is the truth? The truth is that you are not weak. You are untrained. You are not broken. You are burdened. You are not stuck. You are scared. And all of these can be changed with awareness, discipline, and compassion. The truth is, you are the only one who can walk your path. And while others can inspire you, support you, guide you, the steps are still yours to take. So take them. Even if your legs tremble, even if the path is dark, even if no one walks beside you, walk anyway. Because each step is a victory. Each step is a new sword forged in fire. Each step is a statement to the universe. I will not be defeated by myself. The world does not need more angry voices, more outer noise, more reaction. The world needs humans who are in control of themselves. Humans who think before they speak, who breathe before they act, who know when to be still and when to strike, who live from truth, not trauma. Be that human. Let this internal war teach you peace. Let it refine you. Let it sharpen you. And when you look back on this period, you will not say, it broke me. You will say, it built me. You will not say, I lost everything. You will say, I finally found myself. This is not philosophy. This is discipline. It is daily work. Breathe consciously. Move intentionally. Speak truthfully. Love deeply. And above all, stay aware. Because when you stay aware, the enemy within loses power. And in that awareness, the battle becomes your greatest teacher. Remember this. You were not born to fight others. You were born to master yourself. And once you do, peace is no longer something you chase. It is who you become.